Hey folks, welcome. Can you hear me all? I'm back again. I'm the ultimate one. Okay. So yeah, welcome to the weekend research. Now today I have created a very specific document for you all to look at and see how I do my research. I actually, spent my last weekend after the live stream which I did to actually create this document. So today is going to be a sector analysis on asset management companies. But before I even start with that, let's take a look at the market. Let's see how are the markets happening and what is going on in the market. Okay. I hope you're all able to hear me, right? Because that would be really problematic if you are not able to hear me. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So stream is healthy, everything is going good. Okay. So yeah, let's start. Let's take a look at the market. 1 second. Coming back. Sorry for that. Sorry that you had to see that, but okay. As I was saying, let's start. Let's take a look at the market. What is happening in the market, and because there is some news I want you to know, I want you to understand key what are the markets that are on a macroeconomic scale that will actually impact the stock market. There is one news which I read yesterday which I believe would be useful for you. So let's start. Let me know when you see my screen. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So one thing is that union budget for 2022 is now live. So what we need to understand is also we need to take a look at that. There is a news which I wanted to tell you about. I hope it's there. Gold will become cool. Cryptocurrency and cool nickel count. Top news. Yeah. So if you haven't heard about it, so Google has decided to invest in Airtel and has decided to take up 1.82% of their market share, so percentage stake in the company. So what is going to happen here? Google has already bought shares in Jio. So let's try to understand what is Google doing, what is going on, and what would they be thinking. Also, I want to know what is the amount that Google and Jio deal, because in 2020 Google had also decided that they are going to invest. Yeah, so after investing in Google is now going to invest up to 1 billion in Bharti Airtel. And let's take a look here. Last year, yeah, so in 2020 what they had done was they had 10 billion for investment they had set aside to invest in India, and started by putting $4.5 billion in Jio platform for 7% stake. And this deal will rank among Google's largest cloud deals. And now, since then, what has happened is they have also decided to take up another telecom market player, which is taking up a massive share. So the two massive players, both Jio and Airtel, Google has decided to take up space in it. So let's try to understand what is going on here. And what are their plans? How are they going to execute everything that they have set in motion? Also, because of this news, its shares are going to rally. So started with ticker tape as well. Let's see what has happened to the shares as well. It will most likely impact the market on Monday and Tuesday because this news actually came on Thursday night and impacted a little bit Friday, but we'll see what will happen. Yeah, so the stock was actually going down the whole day, but what had happened was, and it went down to a low of 701 rupees yesterday and closed at 715. Now, the latest news here that ticker tape shows, as per ticker tape, would be tech synergy in digital push, Google to invest $1 billion. ठीक है, तो सारी न्यूज यही है कि गूगल इज गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन भारती एयरटेल. नाउ लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज गोइंग टू गो ऑन बिहाइंड द सीन्स, कि क्या उनका प्लान है, कैसे वो उस चीज को जो है ना आगे दे टेक दिस फॉरवर्ड एंड हाउ इट वुड एक्चुअली बेनिफिट गूगल एज वेल, बिकॉज दे हैव ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड इन a competing telecom player. Bharti Airtel is serious about in Google. So 28th January, Airtel announced that Google will invest 700 million to acquire 1.28. I'm sorry, 1.82 I said, in the form at 734 rupees per share. So right now you can, based on the price, right now it's at 715. You can actually buy Airtel for cheap than actually Google bought it at. So there's one thing. So what are they really looking at? Look at India specific use cases for 5G to accelerate cloud adoption. So most of you that don't know, the two top players in cloud services providers are, number one is Amazon's AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and number two, which based on the market cap comes to Microsoft with their Azure cloud. But there is also a third player which may not have garnered as much attention, but it's also Google has a massive share in the cloud adoption economy, basically here for the small and medium businesses. So these investments are part of Google's 10 billion India Digitization Fund announced in 2020, and that's when they actually put in $4.5 billion in Geo platforms. With this investment, Money Control spoke that the 700 million, 5,200 crores might not acha. The CEO, Sanjay Kapoor, former CEO of Bharti Airtel, said this does not change anything in terms of capital requirement for Bharti. This investment is more strategic in nature. So what are the strategies that they are looking at? I hope they actually tell us here. Fired up. Other than real token investment and will likely for buying government stake in Bharti Hexacom. What's that? Even I'm not aware about this thing like Bharti Hexacom. Bharti Airtel has a debt of 1.6 lakh crore as of September 2021. So these are part of the AGR dues that they had to actually pay for the spectrum of 4G and 5G. And the government is looking to raise 7,000 crore by selling its stake in TCIL. That's a different news. Okay. Selling its stake in TCIL. So it's a joint venture between Bharti Airtel and government. Okay. So if you didn't know, government is actually selling off a lot of its assets, like they actually sold Air India back to Tata. Then what had happened was they started to sell, like they are coming up with the LIC IPO. Last year we saw the IRCTC IPO came out. So government is basically divesting in the market by saying that we are not going to control the markets any further. We are only going to operate what we are good at and let the private players, let the retail investors look after the businesses that are showing growth and let them invest in the properties of India, in the assets of India here basically. However, the investment is strategic, which is a long-term strategy. So for the company, Google's interest in Airtel. So it's one of the India, which is 1.3 billion population, is one of the most attractive markets for large technology players. Now, as per Prabhu Ram, who's the head of Industry Intelligence Group Cyber Media Research, said that India's digital economy is on an upward growth curve, with more first-time digital users from tier 2, tier 3 cities. So right now we are sitting at somewhere around 60-65% of India has gone digital, but still is a massive opportunity for the folks who have not had internet in the past. So बहुत सारी ऐसी cities हैं, गांव हैं, शहर हैं, जहां पे लोगों के पास इंटरनेट एक्सेस था ही नहीं. तो उसकी वजह से जो है ना, right now there is still massive upside in an opportunity for internet players to come in and say कि ना हमें इन users को भी acquire करना है and get them started with the internet. So there is a potential there. Tarun Pathak, research director, Counterpoint, shared that India will see close to 500 million smartphone users in the next 5 years, with as many as 270 million feature phone users upgrading to smartphones. And with the consumption market in India so high, major tech players like Amazon, Apple, and Meta, which used to be Facebook, are looking at India for further growth opportunity. So one of the things that you need to understand is all the US major tech players, be it Amazon, be it Apple, be it Netflix, be it Meta, the thing is they are looking at India is because, number one, it has a massive population. Second thing here is you need to understand that China, who has the closest or the highest population in the world, is a very closed economy. So they only allow their own business to operate there, and you won't see a lot of internet companies that are operating in the US or operating in India. You will not see these companies operate. So they have banned Google. They don't have allowed access to YouTube. Instead of YouTube, China allows something called Youko. They have Baidu, and Baidu, which is their search engine, that is instead of Google. And recently, just last year, they also banned that they are not going to allow LinkedIn to come in this space. So there is a massive growth potential for these companies. These users need products. Sorry. This is the largest Android market for the company globally and the biggest for them in the next year in terms of advertisement. So Google and Facebook are primarily advertising tech companies who are provide all the backend data on what a user is searching on. So if you and me do some kind of Google search, the company, their browsers, their entire ecosystem, it's behind the scene recording all that data. So, and uses that data for basically providing advertisers to, provide advertising based on the searches that you have done, which makes it a relevant context-based advertising. Let us consider that close to 500 million users will be added to the Android ecosystem in the next 5 years. Shah explained that if Google can get even $0.5 per month from ads from a single user, so basically they are asking that ARPU, which is average revenue per user of $0.5, which is not a very high amount, which is basically 35 rupees right now, from a single user in a month, they would this would be close to $6 per user per year, which would translate that 3 billion ad revenue for Google. That's what it means here. So there is a massive upside for Google to actually invest in this market, and this major will also be able to cross-sell Google services by bundling this with Airtel's and sweeten the deals for SMBs, which are small medium businesses. Airtel and Google have a partnership in place where Airtel offers Google a suite of services such as Gmail, Docs, and Drive to SMBs. So, this was the entire thing. Let me just look at. So, Bharti Airtel, the fact that Bharti Airtel will receive 300 million to develop the digital ecosystem and affordable devices does raise a question around Airtel's participation in device subsidy that they have refrained from in the past. So the question, तो यहाँ पे question रह गया कि will Airtel start also manufacturing digital devices which allow them to participate in the software ecosystem that Jio has, Google has, and allow them to take place. So वहाँ पे ये लोग अपना जो है ना entry लेने की कोशिश करेंगे. And this is the question. We don't know it is for sure or not. Let me take a look. So how is this stream going on? Okay, peak. Okay. Stream is okay. थोड़ी सी unhealthy stream हो रही है. But apart from that, it's okay. ठीक है. Now let's take a look at the sector analysis which I have prepared the report for. Yeah. So this is the sectoral theme for 2022. Now for this entire sector research, I have taken the sector of AMC, which is asset management companies, जो आपके mutual funds manage करती हैं. And right now the marketplace में कुछ companies हैं that are doing really well, and why there is a potential in this, AMC market, AMC sector. So this is it. Now take a look. The Indian asset management company market is estimated to grow at a CAGR of approximately 14%. CAGR is compounded annual growth rate during the forecast period. And right now, AUM, which is assets under management in India, are worth 24.4 trillion rupees, not dollars, 24.4 trillion rupees की अभी market है जो अभी assets manage हो रही हैं. So for example, आप मोतीलाल ओसवाल पे गए या आनंद राठी इन्वेस्टमेंट पे जा रहे हैं या एडलवाइस पे जा रहे हैं. ऑल ऑफ दीज आर म्यूचुअल फंड प्लेयर्स. दे हैव म्यूचुअल फंड्स ऑफ देयर ओन, एंड द फंड मैनेजर्स बेसिकली जो आपका पैसा इन्वेस्ट करते हैं इन ऑल दीज बिजनेसेस, बी इट एयरटेल स्टॉक, टाटा स्टॉक, जियो एंड मेनी अदर मल्टीपल स्टॉक्स. व्हाट दे डू इज दे, after investing in the money in these stocks, these become assets, and assets under management is what how these companies, उनका डेटा देखा जाता है कि क्या है, क्या इनके पास डेटा था. Okay, around 80% is owned by top 10 AMCs in the market. मैं अभी बताता हूँ who are the top 10 AMCs in the market. And assets managed by mutual fund industry in 2018 was 23.5 trillion rupees, and in 2019 that amount increased to 26.9 trillion rupees as of November 2019. In the past few years, you can see that we have witnessed a significant evolution in the asset management industry. Individual investors have grown at a significant pace. So if you are like watching Airtel, like IPL on Hotstar, if you watch the World Cup on Hotstar, you always get these ads by DSP कि mutual fund सही है, ETFs में invest कर दो. Why is that happening? What they are doing is, all these mutual fund management companies, even small cases, they are creating awareness that you need to go out there, invest your money, make some return out of it. This is the goal, because right now India में जो participation है investors का, that is still pretty low. So it is important that you all understand that. Equity as an asset class has grown the most in prominence, accounting for 45% of assets under management against 23%. So 5 years ago, the equity asset class में सिर्फ 23% participation था. But right now in 2020 and 2021, that has grown to double, about 45%. A large share has been driven by increasing penetration across B15 cities. So B15 cities are those which are tier 2 cities, top 15 tier 2 cities in India, that account for quarter of this AUM. So AUM of 27 trillion rupees is now, of a quarter of that is under management by tier 2 cities. Now what is the source for all this? I actually went through the intelligence report by Modern Intelligence, and that's how I collected this data. Now what are the primary reasons for the, this massive AUM growth? मैं एक बार इसको थोड़ा सा कर देता हूँ बड़ा, so that you can see. With increasing awareness among Indian investors about mutual funds, the AUM has seen an astonishing growth year on year. As of March 31st, 2021, AUM was stood at 24.7 trillion rupees. And in the last 10 years, the average assets under management, AAUM, grew at CAGR of 14.9% from 6 trillion rupees in March 31st, 2010 to 24.7 trillion in the last 10 years to March 31st, 2020. तो इन्होंने पूरा फाइनेंशियल ईयर, फिस्कल ईयर डेटा ले लिया फ्रॉम मार्च FY10 to FY 2020. This is the chart that you need to all look at. देखो, March 2015, 11.6 trillion, 16 में 13.5, 17, 23, 24 March 19, and 24.71 in March 2020. So this is what we are actually looking at. Now, we also need to know कि GDP जो है इनका from AUM country wise कहाँ से आता है. Now, जो assets under management है, they also like contribute, all these companies, AMC companies, contribute to the GDP because they are also paying taxes. So let's take a look कि जो है ना, why there is such a massive potential, why is there such massive upside to this number. Look at this. So assets under management as percentage of GDP across countries. In United States, 101% of that GDP, is coming from assets under management. Canada, 65%. France, 76% and 62% from the rest of the world. But India right now stands at 11%. So look at this number and think, ki, what is the massive upside of all what you are doing is going to result to. Okay? Because this is important. Okay. Yeah. One second, yaar. Yeah, sorry yaar, I think I lost you all. मेरा कैमरा शायद से बंद हो गया होगा. I'm really sorry. Oh, come on, man. Don't do this like that. Okay, sorry, man. एक ना पॉप आउट चार्ट मुझे क्रिएट करना चाहिए, मेरे को ऐसे दिखाई नहीं देता अदरवाइज. ओके, या आई होप अब जो है ना दिखाई दे रहा हो. एक सेकेंड. ओके, ओके, एक सेकेंड. Okay, am I audible now? I am. Please tell me यार, एक बार स्क्रीन देख के मुझे बता दो कितनी देर पहले हो रखा था ये. आई एम सो सॉरी दिस हैपेंड. ओके, आई एम सॉरी यार, मेरी स्क्रीन स्ट्रक हो गई. आई हैव नो आइडिया व्हाट्स हैपनिंग. लाइक OBS ऑल्सो समटाइम्स डज ऑल दिस थिंग्स. आई एम सो सॉरी. तो जैसे मैं बता रहा था, AUM कंट्री वाइज 101% AUM as percentages of GDP across country. 101% जो है GDP का contribution AUM comes from United States. 65% is from Canada. India में सिर्फ 11% है. France में 76%. So even if you actually compare this to the world, there is 6 times possibility क्योंकि 62% world में इसकी GDP है जो rest of the world दे रहा है. India में there is only 11%. So think about the massive potential that the AMC sector has in this regard. Now, I actually try to look at some of the trends, that I think will impact in the AMC industry going forward as more and more retail investors come into this thing. So the reason why I'm really bullish on AMC sector is because not a lot of people try to do the research. Maybe they don't have time. Maybe they do not understand how to read annual reports, and individual stocks में invest करना, people think it's risky. That is why what they do is they invest in mutual funds, and that is why the reason in mutual fund participation is really high in this regard. So, okay. Now, number one trend, demand for increased transparency and lower fee products to disrupt-free model. Now, increased demand for transparency. Now, lower fee to ho gaya expense ratio. Expense ratio which you actually pay for participating in a mutual fund, which is getting lower and lower. So, for example, if you take Navi Nifty 50 mutual fund, which tracks the Nifty index, उसमें क्या होता है? But there, I believe it is the lowest of all the mutual fund expense ratio that I've ever seen, of 0.06 rupees. So if you invest 5,000 rupees in the Navi Nifty 50 mutual fund, and this is not a recommendation, उसमें आपका 499.94 rupees जो है इन्वेस्ट होंगे, and 0.06 rupees जो है ना वो अपनी फी लेगा to actually manage that fund. Although this is passive, so इसका भी ये reason है कि जो है ना उसकी expense ratio इसलिए कम है. And increased transparency. So almost every mutual fund, every month they declare their portfolio. So they have to as per SEBI. But now if you actually take a look at before even investing in a mutual fund, तुम्हें पूरा पता रहता है कि इनके top 10 portfolio कौन सा है, which sectors they are investing in. So this is really impactful going forward. Trend number 2. So digital distribution models will evolve and take products to end consumers. Example यहाँ पे small case. So small case is what? It's basically a bucket of stocks catered to you, जिसमें आप जो invest कर सकते हो, and you don't have to worry about looking at individual stocks क्योंकि आपको पूरा एक bucket मिल गया और आप उसकी allocation देख सकते हैं कि कितनी weightage है with each stock. Trend 3, hyper personalization of services to meet customer expectations. So as India is growing, we will see a digital adoption in India. We will see a digital adoption going forward in India, which would be omni-channel marketing. Omni-channel से मेरा मतलब है they can connect with you on WhatsApp, they can connect with you on email, they can connect with you on Facebook, Instagram, जिस channel पे आप उनसे मिलना चाहोगे, so that they can cater and provide services to you catered to your personalized needs. This is what is very important, and there are so many products right now coming in the market, which I will also talk about in the future, that is built upon this hyper personalization of services related. Number 3, intergeneration transfer of wealth driving the need for digital preparedness. So if you look at आपके दादा या आपके नाना नानी, they have a lot of wealth. They have either in their stocks if they were really smart about making the money grow. But for example, even if they did not invest in stocks, they had their FDs. So what will happen is, like, they are already getting old. They said that we have lived our lives, और अब जो हमारे पास पैसा बचा है, it's of no use to us. So they will give that to the younger generations. वो आपके parents को दे देंगे. If not them, then they will give some amount to you. And you being more tech savvy millennials, what will happen here is you will see that all the money that you are now that you get from inheritance from your grandparents or your parents, you will start to invest all that money in all the digital products and services that are coming in when it comes to asset management industry. So वो पैसा आप लोग जब invest करेंगे, so there is possibility कि industry also will grow according to that. Continued. So blockchain is the biggest trend that we have seen come out since 2019, which would be the driving force behind process efficiency, transparency, and lower cost. So blockchain, क्योंकि एक digital distributed ledger है, there will be complete transparency in terms of you will be able to see क्या हो रहा है. Lower cost, because even though building technology like blockchain is pretty difficult, and there are not a lot of blockchain engineers, developers around the world, but as we see people become more and more tech savvy, people will start to take roles in the blockchain industry, and it will drive the cost down. Process efficiency, why? Because blockchain continuously regularly updates itself. That's why it's important. And trend 6, which is client lifecycle management processes, will be streamlined using emerging technologies. So prospecting and due diligence, client onboarding, maintaining ongoing relationship, and client offboarding. So एक क्लाइंट को कैसे मैनेज करते हैं उसकी जो है ना, देर आर सो मेनी कंपनीज, सॉफ्टवेयर एज अ सर्विस कंपनीज विच आर कमिंग इन, विच टेल यू दैट यू नो दीज आर द insights we can give you, this is you how you can analyze the data, and based on the data you can make decisions कि आपका कस्टमर कहाँ पे ऑनबोर्ड हो रहा है, उसकी कैसी जर्नी रह रही है, यू नो लुकिंग एट द इन योर सॉफ्टवेयर, वो कैसे जो आपके सॉफ्टवेयर को या प्रोडक्ट को नेविगेट करता है, उसका यूज कैसे करता है, एंड क्योंकि उसका कनेक्शन बना रहेगा आपसे, इट वुड बी लाइक हार्डर फॉर यू टू यू नो ऑफ बोर्ड दैट क्लाइंट एंड cater to them with a better services going forward. Okay, going forward here, final data to prove the to prove the potential and growth of AMC sector. Now look at this, it's in INR trillion. So December 20, say December in the last 1 year, December 20, I'm sorry, 2021. So there is a 22.4 increase in assets from December 2020 to December 2021. ठीक है, 30.9 ट्रिलियन पे जो है ना एसेट्स अंडर मैनेजमेंट थी लास्ट ईयर दिसंबर 2020 में. राइट नाउ दैट हैज इंक्रीज टू 37.9 ट्रिलियन. दैट्स अ मैसिव इंक्रीज दैट वील सी. एंड लेट्स टेक अ लुक. मेरे पास लेटेस्ट डेटा नहीं है इसका एसआईपी रजिस्ट्रेशंस का, इट्स ऑफ 2019 क्योंकि 2020 का डेटा ऑब्वियसली लाइक वाज पेड, सो आई थॉट कि मे बी नेक्स्ट टाइम आई विल डू दैट. बट लुक एट द इंक्रीज इन एसआईपी रजिस्ट्रेशंस. सो हियर April 18 to March 19, total number of outstanding SIP accounts, number of number of new SIP registered, SIP contribution in INR crore. So it used to be at 2,60,800 से increase होके 3,12,000 पे पहुंच गया ये डेटा. Okay, so this will tell you कि कितने सारे लोगों ने SIP में इन्वेस्ट करना स्टार्ट किया है. Also look at this data. So मैं ये वाला बताता हूँ, ये important है. Yeah. So the opportunity in mutual fund assets under management stand at 17% of financial savings, which also includes bank deposit and mutual funds. So rising inflow into systematic investment plan (SIP). The industry has seen strong growth in the last 5 years. We have been seeing a lot of growing household saving, and that is being invested into mutual funds because people trust mutual funds right now. धोनी ने भी ऐड कर दी, तो बात बनती है ना इस बात की. ओके, हाँ, मैं एक बार देखूं जरा चार्ट में, कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है. हाँ, ठीक है, थैंक यू. This industry has seen strong growth in the last 5 years with growing household savings, increased participation by smaller cities and towns. So tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities are already smart and savvy and you know are making money, growing their money. But now poor like tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities जहाँ पे इतनी ज़्यादा awareness और knowledge नहीं थी, जहाँ पे इतना अच्छा internet access नहीं था, even these industries are showing like they are also have started to participate. तो जब यहाँ पे आप advertisement देखते हो, कोई actor promote कर रहा है या कोई क्रिकेटर स्पोर्ट्समैन प्रमोट करता है, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग बिकॉज दीज पीपल जो इनके फैन होते हैं, इनको अवेयरनेस मिलती है कि हाँ वी कैन डू दिस ऑल्सो टू ग्रो आवर मनी. अपॉर्चुनिटी साइज. सो इंडिया में पॉपुलेशन है 130 करोड़ एज ऑफ नाउ. हाउ मेनी म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टर्स आर देयर? ओनली 3 करोड़. रजिस्टर्ड टैक्स पेयर्स 8.5 करोड़. एडल्ट पॉपुलेशन विच इज ऑफ 18 प्लस पीपल ऑफ 80 करोड़. सो ओनली PAN card holders 42% and bank account has 75 crore. So 3 crore say even if we actually go up to bank account holders 75 crore, do you know how high is that percentage? That we are talking 25 times the potential. तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है that we can see how it's all going to go up. That's why. Now coming to the stocks. These are the 3 stocks that I believe are going to show massive promise. एक छोटा सा डिस्क्लेमर दूंगा, प्लीज डू नॉट टेक दिस एज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइस. आई एम डूइंग दिस ऑल फॉर एजुकेशनल पर्पसेस. मैं आपको अवेयर करना चाहता हूं. प्लीज डू नॉट टेक दिस एज अ स्टॉक रिकमेंडेशन. इसको जो है सोचो, अपनी ड्यू डिलिजेंस करो और तब अगर आपको इन्वेस्ट करना है तो करो. आई हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन नाम इंडिया, आई हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन कैम्प्स, I will show you next time कि मेरा कैसा portfolio है when it comes to these things. But please do your own research before going forward. Starting with Hdfc Amc. So about the stock, Hdfc Amc is among the largest and profitable mutual funds with an assets under management of 4.4 lakh crore as on September 2021. So ये जो रिपोर्ट है इनकी इन्वेस्टर प्रेजेंटेशन से आई थी, उसके बेसिस पे ये मैं बोल रहा हूं. हाँ, तो उसके बेसिस पे सॉरी ओके, हाँ ठीक है. Market share as of Q2 FY 2022. Sorry, गला सूख गया पूरा. Sorry. Market share as on Q2 FY 22 was at 11.9%. They have a very strong distribution network with 227 branches and over 70,000 empaneled distribution partners. 70,000 mutual fund distributors हैं जो HDFC की अपनी टीम में है. बेसिकली देयर सेल्समैन, रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर जो इस चीज को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं. एंड देयर इज ऑल्सो द फ्रीलांस डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स जो आपको म्यूचुअल फंड एडवाइस देते हैं. दे हैव क्लियर द टेस्ट एंड दैट्स हाउ दे प्रमोट दिस. नाउ लुक एट दिस HDFC वर्सेस म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री. सितंबर 2020 HDFC म्यूचुअल फंड में 5.5% थे एंड ओवरऑल म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री में 21.5% जो है ग्रोथ थी. इन्वेस्टर्स इन मिलियन 21.3 मिलियन. जून 2021 में 5.3 दैट अमाउंट एक्चुअली डिक्रीज अ लिटिल बिट एंड द म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री ग्रू. सो परसेंटेज का था. देन इट इंक्रीज टू 5.4 मिलियन इन सितंबर 2021 एंड इंडस्ट्री आल्सो ग्रू टू 26.7 जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं इस पूरी म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री में दैट हु आर पार्टिसिपेटिंग. नाउ इनफ्लोज थ्रू SIP in HDFC Bank, HDFC AMC, sorry, yeah. March 16, 2016 में 4.9 billion rupees, not million, billion. 17 में it increased to 6.8. 18 और 19 में ज्यादा ग्रोथ नहीं थी, 11.8 तक गया. March 20 में we saw a decrease because obviously the market fell down due to COVID, so people actually did a lot of panic selling. Or even the businesses that would have been disrupted. So कुछ लोगों का business नुकसान हुआ, so they decide that they are going to sell off their mutual fund holdings to actually protect themselves कि क्या market में जो है disruption है ताकि वो अपना घर बचा सके. So that's why there was some decrease कि उनकी transactions कम हुई. They broke their compounding basically जब उन्होंने mutual fund तोड़ा. September 2020 में it went down, but it started to pick up again in March 2021. और अभी right now in September 2021 it is at 10.8 billion rupees जो SIP से transaction हो रही है in this thing. So let's take a look at the market cap of HDFC AMC. They have so the stock has a face value of 5 rupees, market cap of 44,900 crores, 44,900 crores, operating income of 1,900 crores. Operating expenditure they have is 734 crores. Operating margins is 61.6%. That is very good number. Operating margin of 61% is very good number. And average assets under management size in crores is 3,38,000 crores. Let's take a look at the share price growth of HDFC AMC. So ये थोड़ा सा डेटा थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ है. I'm sorry. April 19 से March 2021 the share price has grown by 37%. 37% in 3 years. नहीं, in 2 years 37% growth is very good number. अगर आपने इसमें पैसा डाला होता March 19 में, you would have seen your wealth grew by 37%. That is very fantastic number. Now let's take a look at their assets and liabilities as well as balance sheets. So ये data मैंने उठाया है basically by investor presentation and the ICICI securities report जो brokerage data निकाला था उन्होंने. Net assets as of September 30 they have 51,000 51,200 lakhs. So यहाँ पे ये बन गया around 500 crores की they have assets. March से मतलब it has grown. March 2021 में they had 50,900. So it has grown, not by significant amount, but it has grown. Now the number of liabilities that they have, also their liabilities have also like got increased from 15 financial liabilities in March 2021. It was 2,300 lakhs. Say they have increased it to 2,100 lakhs. Financial summary. Okay. So revenue from operations that they had in FY18 was 1,700 crores. In FY19, it increased to 1,900 crores. In FY20, it increased to 2,000 crores. So 3-year CAGR of compounded annual growth was 2%. Not too high, but now expected or estimated. यार इसको बंद करो यार फोन को. Yeah. So if you can see here, estimated the ICICI report ने जो estimate किया है, this amount will increase of the revenue from operations will increase to 2,200 crores, and in FY23 estimated it would increase to 2,600 crores. It will actually be 19%. That is a very good number. Their net profit has increased from 711 crores in FY18 to 2021 1,326 crore. That is 23% growth in CAGR in their profits. Very good number. Assets under management has grown from 14,000 crores to 18,000 crores. So their assets under management is also growing. It shows that investors, the retail investors, have trust in Sgfc AMC business, and that's why they are giving their money कि आप हमारा पैसा लो और इसमें जो है इस म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करो, because we trust you. और Sgfc का इतना ट्रस्ट है मार्केट में. ठीक है. So इनका कॉल हुआ था in 2021 September. I'm actually showing you that data. So their assets under management have grown 23% year on year, 4.1% quarter on quarter, led by 7.7% quarter on quarter uptick in equity assets under management. So जो equity assets under management है वो 7.7% grew हुई है. Contribution of equity assets under management up from 43% to 45% quarter on quarter. SIP flows increased from 980 crores in FY20, like Q1 FY22 to 1,080 crores. So 100 crores का increase हुआ Q2 FY22 तक. Now they have launched banking sector fund and international fund in Q2 FY22, and the amount that they have raised via international NFO, which is new fund offer, was 1,100 crores in assets under management. Total income from revenue operations increased from 6